I began the conversation by asking him and Howard why so many American companies who come here, it fails all too often, but at least for Starbucks right now, they've made it work.
We've been here 18 years, and many people don't realize for the first 9 years, we were not very successful. And so there was a lot of pressure on us early on to kind of close the tent and say it's not going to work. But I think we had to have patience, and we had to have a deep commitment to being locally relevant and understanding the consumer. But I don't want to embarrass Jack, but you also have to have friends here who can help you kind of navigate through some of the issues that are difficult to understand. And, you know, Jack and I have known each other. I said this the other day. I knew Jack before he was Jack. and you know, we've had great conversations about the values of building a great company, whether you're building it in the U.S. or China. And I think the understanding that there are actually more similarities between us than differences. And the consumer, although it is a Chinese consumer that did not know much about coffee, did understand customer service, did understand a beautiful place to be. And I think also building the kind of company that would be values-based and the culture of the company in which we put people first. And I think that gave us a leg up. That we didn't come here to take anything. We came here to give back.
When you look at this, and a lot of technology companies in the U.S. have tried to come here unsuccessfully, what do you think is going on?
I think most of the technology companies come to China to learn from Starbucks. First, a heart for the customer, for the market. You love the people, love the market. Second, you should have a great team that have a patience. And third is a patience. I'm doing this for 10, 20 years. And next, a great product. When I was amazed by Starbucks because Chinese people don't drink coffee. We drink tea. I don't like coffee. I like tea, but I like Starbucks.
You're drinking coffee.
Coming here, I respect. I like. As I told my wife, I don't like coffee, but I like Starbucks. Because one of the reason is that I met him first time. I think we discussed long. I listened to his talk, and we discussed only about the value, vision, mission. And then I told my team in the past years a lot of times making Starbucks a unique example. Everybody drink coffee in the world, right? Outside China especially. But nobody thought of coffee could be a business that be a global company. Serve people with heart, not coffee. That's what we think.
Tell me what's going on in retail here in China. You just had your Singles Day, biggest ever, again, $25 billion day. And that's been mostly an online day. But you guys are getting into the bricks and mortar space as well.
We've been moving very aggressively. In the 4 years ago, when we grow so fast, we got a lot of complaints about traditional retail. They say, hey, e-commerce take away all of our jobs, all of our business. So we ask ourselves, are we want to serving our customers, or are we want to kill all the retail, the traditional retail? We think we should working together. We believe online and offline should working together. With the data, with the customer experience, we think retail, the traditional retail has a huge potential if we do properly, if we work together. So that is why we're going aggressively in the past 4 years.
He just gave up on online retail, at least doing it himself. He's handed it over to some degree to Amazon, and Amazon just came to China. What do you make of that?
Amazon come to China? They've been here for almost 15, 20 years, but you do not see them here anywhere.
Because?
Because I don't think they do properly here. Because it's the market you should need. But maybe 10 years later, Amazon become big again. I mean, China. But you should have a patience, a great people, good services, and I think we're working together online. And Starbucks has presents a shop on Tmall, and they also using Alipay. We're working so closely.
So the roastery officially opens tomorrow. I'll give you a statistic they gave me an hour ago. We sold almost $2 million of merchandise and coffee through Alibaba in the last 48 hours. The store hasn't opened yet. It's incredible. And the other thing is you understand that the technology in the store is being powered by Alibaba. So the partnership that we're establishing here in China is just in its early stages of what we can do together.
Yeah.
How do you think about U.S. and China relations these days, and how it relates to you doing business here and you doing business in the U.S.? We have two leaders, but one of whom talks about America first, and President Xi, to some extent, maybe talking about China first, though opening as well.
I did not see President Xi say China first. President Xi thinks a lot about the one road and one belt, and business should be grow together, share profit together.
So, do you look at what's happening, even in the conversations and the overhang of the conversation around North Korea, for example, and how that could affect you being here and you doing more? I know you're trying to do more and more business in the U.S. as well.
I think, Andrew, unfortunately, because of the political issues that exist, I think there's a possibility that companies that have a shared level of values around a sense of humanity. So if you can take Alibaba and you take Starbucks, a Chinese company and an American company, perhaps we can demonstrate the kind of cooperation, the kind of trust, and build a bridge between our two companies that perhaps the politicians cannot do at this time, and demonstrate to America and to China that we are much more the same than we are different.
Okay.
And we've talked about that.
Can you do that, though, if there is disagreement among the countries over things like North Korea?
Yes, of course we'll continue to do it. I think politicians agree, great. If do not agree, business still have to go on, trade have to go on. Nobody can stop business. Nobody can stop trade. Nobody can stop the cooperation between the business. So this is what we think. And they are so great on the offline. We're so good on online. They are so good in the States. We're so good in China. We should set an example that how we can working together, that improving the relationship between together, strengthen the relation. This is what we think. By working together, the two countries can do a lot.
Do you have a take on North Korea? I know you're sponsoring, by the way, the Olympics this year. I'm going to be in South Korea. You're going to be there as well, and it's going to be a big conversation there, what's happening in North Korea.
Yeah, it's too complicated. To me, I have enough headache in my business. I think when I hear about North Korea, I say, oh my God, North Korea said this, Russia said this, China said this, Americans said this. Leave this job for President Xi and Donald Trump. Then I'm focusing on my business.
Okay, let me ask you one question. Last time I saw you in Davos, you said something very provocative. President Trump had talked at one point about the U.S., or rather China, stealing jobs from the U.S. And you said that was the strategy. By the leaders of the U.S. President Trump has tried to change that. I'm curious whether you think he's been successful. We have tax policy that he's trying to put through. What do you make of what's happening in the United States?
Well, I think the Americans also should have a patience. You know, you may do not agree with him. When he say, I want to do this, he's been president for that, only 1 year or something. He can never achieve something within 1 year. At least he's trying. And for me, I think the China is not stealing jobs. We are creating a lot of jobs. A lot of companies succeed in China. Starbucks did excellent in China. You know, Microsoft did excellent in China. IBM did excellent in China. And we do not see a lot of Chinese companies did excellent in the States. So we should work together.
Right. When you have conversations with government here, how much do they talk about Trump with you?
There's a constant theme about asking about the president. And I have one statement that I consistently repeat, and that is, I'm not here to talk about politics, and I'm certainly not going to criticize the President of the United States on foreign soil.
Fair enough. Back there, when you buy a coffee, you can pay with Alipay, but you can also pay with WeChat, which has been growing in its market share. What are you going to do to stop that?
Why should I stop them? I mean, first, if there's only one Alipay, Alipay cannot grow that fast. When there's fair competition, grow fast. No matter how fast they grow, we're still bigger, we're still better. So it's when you have a fair, healthy competition, it is good. And we don't want to be lonely to talk to the government because we are the only one. But when we have two or maybe three, then we have the right policy.
Talking about currency, the topic, at least back in the U.S., I think here as well, is Bitcoin. And what some people think of as the modern, like a tulip bubble, or is it a bubble? And I was curious, I don't know if you're going to accept Bitcoin. Do either of you have a take on whether we're in a bubble? Other people have called it a fraud. Jamie Dimon says it's a ridiculous thing.
I don't understand it myself. I'm just trying to figure out the coffee business.
I have the same. Just 2 days ago in the Wuzhen Internet Conference, people asked me, what do you think about it? I say, honestly, I know very little about it, and I'm totally confused. And like, even if it works, the whole international rules and laws on trade and financing is going to completely change. I don't think we are ready for that. So I think I'm focusing on the Alipay. I'm focusing on IMB, US dollars, euros. That's
but not
good
Bitcoin.
enough.
And you're not accepted yet.
I know. No.
Do you see a day where you could?
No. We have a team specifically study that, and also we have a team blockchain technology. We spend a lot of efforts on blockchain technology for development. But Bitcoins, I say, not for me. I know. I don't know.
I could see a point in time where Starbucks becomes a cashless retailer.
Right.
And I think that time is nearer than further.
Final.
Let me say one thing. We are not focusing on Bitcoin. We are focused on cashless society for China and every country we go. Try to making sure the society is more efficient, more transparent, no corruption. This is what we want to do using cashless.
Okay, I got 2 final questions, and I'm going to embarrass you with one of them. There's a lot of speculation in the United States that this gentleman may one day run for president or should run for president. What do you think of that?
I think he should.
Yeah, be careful here.
I respect him a lot, and he has a great value, vision, and is very paranoid for the future. He always thinks about how he can change. See this thing. I see so many retail complain about new technology. And they hate technology. They stop. They just complain. But he is changing. And I think this is what a country leader should have.
And final question. We've been watching you dancing like Michael Jackson, creating movies. What's next? Outside of doing magic shows, outside of running Alibaba?
Well, every year I try to do something because there are 3 Jack Ma. First Jack Ma is people's imagination. He's great, he's not good, and this is the people's imagination. Second Jack Ma is the CEO and the founder, chairman of Alibaba Group. And third Jack Ma is my real person. I love to sing, I love to dance, I have fun, I like walking around the streets, and all the things you see, I'm myself, my real Jack Ma coming out these days.
Can I get a 4th Jack Ma?
Yeah.
I've known Jack a long time, and Jack obviously has become extraordinarily successful and influential in China and around the world. But the 4th Jack Ma, the core Jack Ma, is the man of humility, a humble person. And that's why I think I have so much respect for him. He has not changed at all.